is the Chigee AIO-5 Lite. It's part Dashcam, part Apple Maps compatible, plus a ton more, and from what I can understand, this is the best way to make an older bike smarter. So in today's video, I'm going to be installing it on my 2019 MT10 to see if it holds up to all of its promises. Let's see if we can make the old girl smart. Also guys, if I look like I feel like absolute shit, it is because I do. I have terrible allergies, and right now in Georgia, it is the pollinating time. So a lot of allergy stuff going on, feeling like poop, but that's okay because we're gonna install some cool stuff on a bike today. Just wanted to let you guys know if you're watching this video and I look like this, that's why. Let's get to the video. What's going on guys? Chase here, and if you guys watch any of my videos, you guys know that I absolutely love tech and motorcycles, but the problem is I have fallen head over heels in love with my 2019 MT10. You guys that own this motorcycle know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't get rid of it because it's literally good at everything. The only problem is the 2019 model doesn't have a lot of tech in it, and with all the first rides that I do, including the brand new MT10s, I'm getting an itch for wanting tech, but I don't want to get rid of my motorcycle. So I'm really hoping that this Chigee AIO-5 Lite can really bridge that gap between letting me keep the bike that I really enjoy, but including with some tech that I can actually enjoy and use. So I'm hoping this is gonna scratch the itch that I really have, because at this point, I think I got hives. So let's get this thing unboxed, see what's in the box, and then let's get to installing it and see how it is. Oh, before we get installing, this video is sponsored by Chigee. They did send this out to me. I did not pay for this at all. So because of that, this will not be any sort of in-depth review. I'm just gonna get it unboxed, installed on my bike, and let you guys know what I think about it. All the opinions you see are always my own. I never read scripts or anything like that from other companies. And Chigee's not gonna see this before it goes live. I just wanna give you guys a heads up that that is happening. Still super stoked on this, but I've gotta be clear with you guys, let you know what's going on. Does my voice sound strange? Now, the Chigee AIO-5 Lite is a ton of things all wrapped into one, and on their website, it's called a motorcycle smart riding system. Inside the box comes with a screen, some cabling to get it wired up, the front and rear cameras for the dash cam features, and what looks like the mounting hardware. Chigee also sent out their tire pressure monitors as well as a remote. Alright guys, so we got all the parts laid out, and I'm looking at the wiring diagram, and I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to wire this up. By the way, the screen, this thing feels really solid. I am very impressed with how like durable this feels, which is good because it's going to be on the outside of the bike. But what I want to do first is I'm going to test wire everything up just to make sure my screen works, because I don't want to go all in depth with all this wiring and then my unit not work or something like that. So I'm going to wire up all the power and get it turned on, and if that all works, we'll get to installing the entire thing. Alrighty everybody, so we are done with the install. Ended up taking about an hour and 15, but it took me a little longer to do all of that because I was having to film and all that kind of stuff. So I would estimate that's probably a 45-minute to an hour-long job, just because I wanted to run all the cables, but I'll take you guys through everything. So starting off on the back, you guys can see that I ended up doing the rear camera on the back of my plate. There's a lot of metal back there that it can just grab onto, so that ended up working out well. I've got the wires running up underneath the seat. Then I've got the power cable and the rear camera running under the bike, and they run up into here. So we do have a lot more cabling up here on the front, but as you can see, the cockpit view still looks really clean. Got the screen here, and I ended up mounting my quad lock over here. Obviously with this now, I don't really need the quad lock, but I like charging my phone while I ride, especially on a really long trip. So I've got it with the little magic arm. These are new for quad lock. I'll put links in the description if you guys want to check those out. But this, and now I can adjust this. It's gonna be really cool. On the front, we have the GPS module here. They say to put that GPS module somewhere where it can see the sky really easily, and there's not many better places than right there on the MT10 at least. Coming over to the right side of the bike, you guys can see this is where I've got my cabling. It runs down, and I've kind of like zip tied it into other cabling on the bike. You guys probably saw, but I got the bike out of the front wheel chock, and I rotated my handlebars back and forth because it is a pretty thick thing of wires, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to mess up the turning radius on my handlebars. Finally, up here in the front, you guys can barely see it, but look how perfect the front camera for the dash cam fits into this little area on the MT10. Love how that's like the perfect freaking size. Now, I've done all of this, but I haven't turned the bike on to make sure everything works, and after spending that much time doing cable management, I would be devastated if this doesn't work, but we gotta turn it on and find out. So let's do it. Moment of truth. So far, so good. Screen comes on relatively quickly, which is great. English, time zone. All right, guys, I have got everything installed on here. I've got the tire pressure monitor set up. Oh, I didn't do the remote because I've already got so much stuff on the handlebars of my MT10. I just didn't have a good place for the remote, so I'm not gonna install that. I don't really need that. But everything is looking good so far. I will say, I had a little bit of an idiot moment where I was looking at the cameras, the front camera and the rear camera, and they were upside down. And I was trying to figure out in the app where I needed to go to invert those cameras so that the sky is up top and the ground's in the bottom. And I tried for probably 20 minutes to figure out what was happening. Let me go ahead and save you guys some time. These cameras are circular. They're sitting in a cradle. Just rotate the camera. It'll solve all your problems, and it'll give you way less headache than I had. So at this point, we just need to go for a ride, see how this thing is, and see if it's as nice as I think it will be. Pretty stoked, so I'm gonna get some gear on. We'll go for a little ride and finish this video up. All right, guys, so just grab some gas. Got the bike turned on. So as you can see, this thing very quickly turns on when you turn your bike on. We'll go ahead and crank the bike up. And actually, you know what? We're not gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna go pull over there so I'm not blocking a gas pump, and I'll show you guys before we get rolling. As you guys can see, I've got my handlebars I've gone both opposite directions with them, and the cables are not affecting them, so steering, no problem at all. And you'll probably see that screen. I've got sunglasses on, and I can easily see that screen. Fantastic looking screen, and in this setting, you can see I've got my tire pressure monitors on, so my front's looking at 38, my rear's at 44. Very cool to be able to see your tire pressure monitors. Also, one thing I really like, if you go to features and you go to tire pressure monitor, you can set the high and the low values. And what it will actually do is it'll alert you if your tires get higher or lower than those settings. So it's pretty neat. It also shows you the temperature, which is kind of fascinating. I'm going to be looking at that far more than I really should be. So that's your main screen. You've got your directional, like north, south, east, west. And then you've got your speed. My speed is in kilometers, but I thought I changed that. Nope, no I didn't. Nope, there you go, miles. As you guys can also see, I was kind of worried about the screen with gloves on, but there's no issue at all. It can grab all of those. So we'll check the cameras here. That's my rear camera. You know that because it's got the blind spot monitoring. Oh, my phone just connected. That's hilarious. Okay, so yeah, not yet. So if I go to video again, this is the rear camera. You can tell that one because it's showing behind me, but it also has these blind spot monitors. You can actually turn this thing on to have blind spot monitoring, and it will let you know if a car is on your left or behind you when you're going at above at a certain speed. I've got it set to 20 miles an hour. That way it ain't going off left and right when I'm stopped. So that's really neat. And while Apple Maps is really cool to have on, you can just hit CarLink and it pops up with the Apple Maps. So yeah, I wanted to show you, if I hit the screen again and I hit that button, it'll show me the front F in the back. If I hit it again, it'll swap those. I like having the back on, honestly. I don't want the front on because I'm literally looking at that. But the back screen I end up liking the most. I wanted to show you guys all this before we get going, because obviously it's just not safe to be messing with that stuff while we're going. As you can see though, if you take the time like I did to wire it up well, this is such a sleeker setup than having my phone there on the quad. Like, I actually like my phone being on the side a lot more now. So I've done a little bit of riding so far with this, and at first when I installed all of this stuff, I thought to myself, you know, the Dashcam stuff is cool, but I don't know if I'll really care about the Apple Map stuff. And it turns out that I very much do, and I'll show you guys why. So right now, if I want to change my song, I have to go into my phone, and I have to swipe up, and then I have to, it's not gonna recognize my face, and now I have to put my passcode in, right? I would always do that normally when I was needing to change my song. But now that I have this little guy on here, I don't have to worry with that with my phone at all. I can just hit this button, go to my car link, and now if I have Spotify up, I have full control of that right there. I don't have to worry with any craziness of putting the my key code in and stuff like that, because the key code is hard to put in while you're riding, but this thing's always here. It's connected to the bike. I don't have to worry about it. Now, I do have to be honest about something with the dash cams. I've used some dash cams in the past. I've actually installed them on my MT10, and I was really not a fan. You know why? Because a few weeks after I installed those dash cams, I had to get a new battery. Do you know why? Because those dash cams trickled my battery. They would use a little bit of battery here and there, and that is the fastest way to kill a motorcycle battery, is to have something connected to it that's just barely pulling any charge. And because of that, I ended up not killing the battery. But if you guys remember when I was doing the install on this, that little yellow cable, I have it connected to my brake or my license plate light. So that cable tells this thing when to turn on and when to turn off when it detects power going to my license plate light, which of course is when the bike is turned on and off. So that's never going to trickle my battery down, and I don't have to worry about that. And it also does all the turning on and turning off by itself. I never have to turn it on, which I also absolutely love. This is why I like having the rear camera up, because I can literally see how close this guy is getting to me. And if he gets inside of that red line, it would warn me. How cool is that? It'll literally let you know if people are being assholes. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that car just came up on my right side. A little bar comes up on the right side of my screen that says caution. That's the blind spot monitoring. So that will go a red bar on the right, on the left, or in the bottom. And that is the device being like, hey bro, you got something going on that you should probably be worried about. So one of the things that I'm really liking with the little AIO-5 is how low profile it is. Oh, that's the warning for the tires. So you just click it, and it's just a heads up letting you know about the tires. So one of the things I love about this the most is that it's way lower profile than having my phone on a quad lock. The issue I used to have when my phone was up here is it would literally block my turn signals on the bike. And I would end up leaving my turn signals on forever because I couldn't see the thing blinking. You know what? It's like that makes me really glad I have a dash cam, because now I have proof of all the stupid people do. So it's low profile, that's cool. It's just not safe to leave your blinker on for a while. It's just making you're asking people to pull out in front of you because they think you're turning, so it's not really their fault. But I love how low profile this is. Really big fan of that. My phone can be over here now. If I need it, it's here. Don't see myself really needing it. And as you guys have seen, the device also has buttons here at the top. So the one on the left is the home, the two over is the camera. And the nice thing about these buttons is feeling on it, even with a thicker glove, I can feel these buttons, so I know where to click them. And it allows you a really fast way to get through the menu, even though the menus are really nice and really responsive. You guys saw, I literally click a button and it goes straight to it. Love the responsiveness of that. All right, so now we can go to the home screen and you guys can see, I can see my speed and all that kind of stuff right here. And this is GPS calibrated, not from inside my bike. So I'm gonna trust that GPS a lot more. One of the things I was worried about this device was that if I have CarPlay on it, am I gonna have to connect my Cardo to that device in order to hear my music? And I can happily say, turning my Cardo on, this connects to my phone so I can control all my music, but it plays my music through my Cardo. You know, when you're dealing with like all these like connections and stuff, you never know what'll just kind of like mess the whole connection up. And I was worried it was gonna be a little bit of a headache. Ended up being no headache at all. So super happy about that. There is something about riding around with a dash cam on the front and the back of my bike that makes me feel almost a little safer. Now, obviously, if somebody runs into me or something, it ain't gonna do nothing. But one of the cool things is, this has a setting on it to where it locks the device if it detects a wreck. So that way, if something does happen, somebody runs into you, the data will actually be locked on the SD card in the device. That is a note. The device didn't come with an SD card. I kind of wish it did. For the price point, it's like, I think 500 something bucks. I'll have it on the screen. It's not cheap at all. And for that price, I would have liked to see an SD card come with it, just because it's one more thing you have to get now when you purchase that. But overall, I am absolutely loving this thing. I've got a trip I'm doing at the end of the week this week. Going up to the north towards the mountains, gonna do some stuff with Continental, the tire company. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to install this thing now, because I wanted to go ahead and have it for that trip. So I am very excited now that I've got it installed on the bike and everything's working well. I think it's gonna be an absolutely fantastic addition to my bike, especially like you guys literally saw 2 seconds ago. Car pulls out on me, and granted, right now I've got my cameras going, it's not a big deal. And I have this joke that I've always had with my friends that if you're not recording, that's when bad stuff happens. So if you guys see this little red light, if that red light is blinking, that means these the dash cams are recording. So everything is saved. And then if you want to review the footage, you literally just go into their app and you can save the footage to your phone and stuff like that. Or, of course, you pop the SD card out. If you're worried about the SD card filling up, what it does is actually fills up an SD card. It also has internal memory, but it fills the SD card up, and then you can set it to automatically rewrite itself. So as long as you have something like a 64 gigabyte SD card, you should have plenty of data to capture, just in case. It's always going to be in one trip, right? You're going to be going to work, somebody cuts you off, you want that footage. It's going to be a commute home. That's when you want that footage. And a 64 gigabyte, I imagine, will be absolutely plenty. Hey, that car's really close behind me. Let's see how close. Oh, it's not as close as I thought. If you're like me and you've got cool mirrors that don't work worth a shit, these is great to have because you can literally just look. If I swipe, it also gives me tons of more information. You guys can see that there. It's more of like a stat screen, that one. Less nice and fancy than that one, but seems to have way more data on it. All right, let's see how this screen looks. I love that I can see the temps of my tires. That is really cool. I've never had that on a bike before, so kind of stoked on being able to have that. Anyways, guys, if you guys have been looking into dash cams that are typically not cheap, so I love this for that. That's why the price doesn't seem that bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, 500 bucks, that's a hefty penny. But you get the screen, you get the Apple CarPlay integration, you get the blind spot monitoring, you get all types of stuff for that price. So it makes it not so bad. It's a very cool tool to have. And if I were you guys and I had a bike that I rode all the time and I'm actually putting miles in, you kind of need something like that for legality's sake. Anyways, guys, if you guys want to check it out, I'll have a link in the description for you. I'm loving this thing so far. And I'm going to be able to ride with some peace of mind now. Also, as a note, ladies and gentlemen, please do not be playing around with this while you are riding a motorcycle. Riding a motorcycle is incredibly dangerous. You don't need to make it even more dangerous. Anyways, guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're looking into a dash cam thing, I might have found something for you guys to make your motorcycle smarter, especially if you got a dumb motorcycle like me. But love this shit out of it. If you guys made it to the end of the video, you are in the outro crew. Put OC in your comment down below after you like the video. And let me know if you guys have ever used a dash cam on your motorcycle before and what your experience was in the comments down below. Looking forward to having a little chat with you guys in the comments. I really appreciate you guys getting to the end of the video. It massively helps us out. YouTube loves it when you guys do that. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later. Get it wired up. The front roof. Was there a fucking... There's a giant wasp in this garage right now. So if I act paranoid, Chris, that is why. I thought I hit it and it flew away. But now I'm gonna be paranoid if I hear things. Chris, just so you don't think I'm crazy, I wanted you to see it, okay? It's in here. He is here. He is trying to kill me, and we gotta figure out what to do. I don't know what's about to happen when I try to do this, so I really don't want to get stung. I'm sorry, little guy. I don't mean to kill you, but it's either you or me. Actually, you know what? I ain't trying to have this thing land on my freaking eye and sting me. Can you imagine? My God, that'd be terrible. All right, dude, rest in peace, my friend. Don't break the light, Chase. Oh my God, I missed. Shit. Pissed it off now. Dude, just go. Just die. Oh wait, he stopped again. Second opportunity. There he is. Oh my God, he's just going light to light. We're gonna let him calm down. Where'd he go now? I'm just gonna leave him, dude. I'm just gonna leave him. Also, Chigee, thank you for sending this tempered glass thing. It turns out to be super helpful as a wasp deterrent. I guess not wasp, deterrent, because he's still in here. But you get what I mean. Okay, we should probably install things.